that's my take on it. I feel like for the most part, I've been very classy. I might not have always been classy, but I have been trying to be classy about the situation. And I just want him to give me that same respect too. He doesn't have to, but it would be nice. And I think the bigger picture here is there is a child in this situation.
In today's age of social media, maintaining an image is as crucial as crafting it, especially for public figures. But what happens when cracks start to show in the carefully constructed persona of a beloved celebrity? This brings us to Gypsy Blanchard, once celebrated as a symbol of resilience and survival. Recently, her actions have sparked widespread controversy, leaving many to question if we're witnessing the real Gypsy or just a further evolution of her public mask. From disabling comments and managing her online image to her complex relationships and mysterious social media posts, Gypsy's world has become a whirlwind of speculation and scrutiny. Recently, Gypsy explained her decision to turn off comments on her live sessions, saying, "I understand I have a big platform and a huge following, and I appreciate everyone's support. But there are comment filters for a reason. Some celebrities turn off comments when things get to a point where they feel their own space, their own platform, is becoming a place for harassment or bullying. Everyone should share their opinion, but it's not good for mental health to be constantly bombarded by negativity. So I turn them off for my own peace of mind."
Why are my comments off my socials? Like, my comments are turned off? Yeah. I mean, I feel like I understand that, like, I have a super big platform and, like, a huge following, and I appreciate, everybody's support. But there are comment filters for a reason, and even some celebrities turn off their comments whenever it gets to a point that you kind of feel like, hey, this is my channel, this is my platform, this is my profile, and I don't feel like I should be bullied or harassed or degraded on it. I feel like everybody should share their opinion, but I just kind of feel like, hey, that's not good for someone's mental health, and I turn them off for my mental health. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
This sounds reasonable on the surface, but there are some concerns worth noting. Gypsy's decision to disable comments came after years of carefully managed social media interactions on platforms like TikTok and Instagram, where suspiciously positive, generic comments have often taken over her posts. Could bots have been used to filter out negativity? And now, with comments turned off entirely, some wonder if she's using this as a tactic to avoid growing criticism. While Gypsy claims it's for her mental health, public figures inevitably face scrutiny, and turning off comments doesn't erase it. It only limits open discussion. For someone with her background, transparency is vital for rebuilding trust. Instead of turning off comments entirely, she could have enabled filters to remove only the harmful content, allowing for honest feedback. This move to disable comments under the guise of mental health appears more like an excuse than the complete truth. Mental well-being is crucial, but openly addressing the community's concerns could also be a constructive approach. By disabling comments altogether, it may seem like she's dodging accountability. The criticisms aren't coming out of malice. They're questions she may need to address. When someone has a large platform, public engagement comes with the territory, and selectively silencing feedback may undermine her authenticity. In a recent livestream, Gypsy also opened up about her new tattoo, saying, "My back tattoo is a phoenix. My cousin Bobby did it for me." In a recent livestream, Gypsy Blanchard opened up about her tattoo, a phoenix on her back, done by her cousin Bobby. She explained, "The phoenix has a special meaning. If you follow mythology, you know it represents rebirth. The phoenix has to burn and then rise from its ashes, and that's what I wanted to symbolize. The struggles I've been through and the new life I'm building. This deeply personal symbol represents growth and resilience, yet it's also connected to her complicated past, marked by one of the most notorious abuse cases and a tragic end that reshaped her life."
Tell us about your back tattoo. Well, my back tattoo is of a phoenix. My cousin Bobby did it for me. The phoenix has a meaning. If anybody follows like mythology and stuff, the phoenix is a representation of like rebirth. So one has to burn and then be reborn from the ashes, and that's what a phoenix does. So I thought that it was a great representation of like what I've been through and the struggles that I've had to go through. So I just really kind of wanted to represent that. somewhere on my body. So.
The tattoo acts as a lasting reminder of the turning point in her story, the moment when her mother's life ended and hers changed forever. Gypsy emphasizes the phoenix as a symbol of survival, but it's impossible to ignore that her rebirth emerged from a history of trauma and tragedy. Additionally, her tattoo of her mother's heartbeat frozen flat, more than just a nod to her past, creates an unsettling narrative. Together, these tattoos reflect not only strength, but also unresolved pain. Gypsy says they represent rebirth, yet they serve as reminders of a darkness that hasn't fully faded. In her live stream, Gypsy addressed her decision to disable comments, saying, "I feel people forget that I'm human too. I see everything said about me and try to stay positive, but when things get twisted, I feel it's only fair to clear the air. It's my right to defend myself when people spread lies."
And people praise that, and people are okay with that. But I can't even shoot one shot at him at all. And I'm like, I get it in one sense, and then another sense, like, y'all don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Y'all don't know what I have dealt with this man over the last, year. That's private, and that remains between us. So
Defending oneself is natural, but Gypsy's actions reveal a pattern of using her platform to silence criticism and shape narratives. She has previously spoken out against Ryan, her former partner, painting him as someone who exploits her name, and reportedly engaged with accounts involved in confrontations with Nina, another creator. These actions suggest more than self-defense. They indicate a willingness to weaponize her influence. Deflecting criticism by shutting down conversations doesn't align with Gypsy's claim of seeking positivity. While she asks for respect, her actions appear to fuel division and conflict. If Gypsy genuinely wants to take the moral high ground, she could lead by example, engaging in constructive conversations instead of silencing dissent. Public engagement is part of having a large platform, and the choice to disable comments raises doubts about her accountability. In her live stream, she also addressed rumors about her relationship with Ken, stating, "People always look for issues where there are none. Relationships aren't perfect, but we love each other, and that's what matters." However, public interactions suggest otherwise. Observers have noted tense moments, such as their awkward airport encounter, and Ken's lack of enthusiasm during joint appearances, hinting that his involvement might be more about status or financial gain than love. Gypsy's attempts to divert attention to Halloween plans and shared memories feel more like damage control than genuine affection. If things are truly well between them, why the strange public interactions? Instead of dismissing these visible cracks as rumors, Gypsy could address the issues openly, showing a more authentic side to her audience. This would provide the transparency needed to calm the speculations surrounding her relationship. At one point in her live stream, Gypsy reflected, "I feel like for the most part, I've been classy. I haven't always been, but I've tried, and I'd like to be shown that same respect." Yet taking public shots at her ex while simultaneously requesting respect feels contradictory. Claiming to act with class while calling out Ryan is like saying, "I only throw stones when I'm really upset." Being classy isn't about reducing negative actions, it's about avoiding them altogether. Gypsy Blanchard's public image is full of contradictions, from her comments on social media, her tattoos, and her response to critics, to her relationship with Ken. If she wants to regain public trust, she'll need to take responsibility, stop deflecting, and embrace transparency. People are no longer buying the excuses, and her credibility depends on her willingness to be genuine with her audience. To truly grasp Gypsy Blanchard's journey, we must delve deeper into the intricate layers of her current actions and statements. Since her release, Gypsy has faced the challenge of rebuilding her identity under the unyielding gaze of the public, a journey that few could navigate without difficulty. Her choices now, from the tattoos she displays to the comments she disables, each play a role in shaping how she is viewed by a world fascinated by her survival and complicated past. The phoenix tattoo she proudly bears symbolizes rebirth, but it is more than a mythological symbol of strength. This tattoo is bound to the context of her life, marking both her endurance and the dark path she has walked. In myth, the phoenix rises from its own ashes, symbolizing renewal. Yet Gypsy's ashes include a series of traumatic events that culminated in her mother's death and her own liberation. For Gypsy, claiming this symbol as a badge of survival is powerful, but it is also a public reminder of events she might never truly leave behind. When paired with the tattoo of her mother's heartbeat at a flat line, the meaning deepens even further, invoking not only survival, but also the indelible mark of a painful history. Some might interpret these tattoos as milestones of resilience, but for others, they raise questions about whether Gypsy has fully processed her past, or if these reminders, etched into her skin, create a narrative that merges victory with tragedy. On social media, Gypsy's approach to public feedback has evolved in ways that continue to fuel debate. By disabling comments, she controls the conversation surrounding her, curating a narrative that aligns with the image she wants to portray. She's publicly stated that the decision to turn off comments was to protect her mental health, a claim that resonates with many public figures. However, given her long-standing history of controlling interactions on her platform, some fans see it as a way to dodge growing criticism rather than confront it. Social media is where Gypsy has the chance to connect with her audience and demonstrate her growth by addressing criticism transparently. By avoiding these conversations, she risks alienating the very supporters who initially believed in her rebirth. Additionally, her interactions on social media don't end at merely blocking comments. Gypsy has shown a pattern of engaging in ways that stir further controversy, such as allegedly addressing former partners and critics in ways that seem to fuel rather than diffuse tensions. Her posts about former partners and her apparent involvement in conflicts with other creators leave some questioning her motives. For example, her public statements about Ryan, where she reportedly accused him of using her for attention, point to a willingness to weaponize her platform against those who challenge her narrative. Similarly, her interactions with accounts linked to disputes with other creators raise concerns about whether Gypsy's use of social media is to share her truth or to control the story. In terms of her personal relationships, Gypsy recently dismissed rumors about tensions with her current partner, Ken, saying, "Relationships aren't perfect, but we love each other, and that's what matters."
Ken and I had planned to go as Forrest Gump and Ginny originally, because he does like a great Forrest Gump impression. And so he got the shirt, he got the hat. Whenever we went to Bubba Gump Shrimp, he had got the hat. And so that was like the plan. And then like the night before Halloween, he's like, "Are we still dressing up?" And I'm like, "I mean, it's up to you." And he's like, "Nah, I'm good." So I'm like, okay. So the next day, we're getting ready for the day, and I did my makeup a little darker, and I had like a choker, but I didn't have a costume. Like I wasn't wearing a costume. I just kind of did up my makeup more Halloween-y, right? And then I go in the living room, and he's like, "I thought you said we weren't dressing up." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, it is Halloween, so I guess." And so by that night, we ended up getting in our costumes. So he did go as Forrest Gump, and I didn't go as Jenny. I just wore like, I was so tired, so I wore like jewelry and then made myself up like, I don't know, an actress or something, like a Hollywood glam type of thing.
Yet public sightings suggest otherwise, with awkward moments and Ken's seeming disinterest sparking questions about the sincerity of their bond. Gypsy's attempts to deflect these observations through sentimental posts feel more like damage control than genuine connection, leaving the public to wonder if the relationship is built on genuine feelings or convenience. If her relationship is as strong as she claims, showing real, unfiltered moments with Ken might ease speculations. Pretending everything is perfect can sometimes have the opposite effect, deepening skepticism rather than easing it. Despite these claims of striving for positivity, Gypsy has publicly called for classy behavior, even as her actions sometimes contradict that standard. She states that she's tried to remain respectful and hopes for the same in return, but calling out former partners and critics on a public stage shows a different side. While standing up for oneself is natural, there's a difference between defending oneself and using one's platform as a weapon. For someone aiming to rebuild trust, demonstrating restraint could strengthen her public image and send a stronger message than any defensive statement ever could. Gypsy Blanchard's current public journey is filled with contradictions. Her tattoos, her responses to critics, her relationships, and the curated social media presence that often feels as carefully constructed as her original narrative. Her story is one that many want to believe in, a journey from darkness to redemption. But for her to truly regain public trust, she will need to demonstrate a willingness to engage honestly, face criticism head-on, and be transparent with her audience, Only then can she move forward with authenticity, breaking free of the excuses and establishing herself on her own terms. If you want to keep up with more insights and deep dives into the world of public figures and the stories behind their headlines, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share and subscribe.